Hi all, so today in this video we are going to see about sometimes what happens that in tables we used to write the data, but not every time we write the values. Sometimes we also used to store the ID of the value. Okay, for example, here is a UI which is taking three field names. If you see here name, it is taking which country this is in currently, let's say India or USA, and what is the value of this drop down, and it should now the third drop down is the technology. Okay, so not every time if USA is entered we enter the USA as well in the value part. Okay, we used to store the IDs of this value. Technology is Java or it can be Appian. It used to store the value, like how this value will be. Okay, so let's see that. If in the first of all in the rule input, if you see here, this is the a record of data that is created. Okay, so here if I enter names, James is there. Okay, if I will enter Mark, then Mark is there. If I store USA, then country ID is 2 is getting stored for USA. If I store India, then 1 will get. If I store Java, then if you see here 4 is getting stored. If I select Appian, then 3 is getting stored. Okay, so how if somebody asks us like this is my data, show the data in a kind of grid, in a read only format. So we will create a read only grid for that, and see this is how the read only grid will get created. Name will be Mark, which is written here. India is what currently country ID is 1, so 1 is getting here. Technology is what Appian, so Appian is having 3 ID, so 3 is getting this way. This is how. But we can understand like, okay, country is 1 or 3, but in real time other people might not understand from this data. Okay, we need to show the data, then it should be clear. Like if I selected USA, then USA should show. If I selected India, then India should show. So the data should be like this. If India is selected, the country India will appear. If 3 is getting selected, then Appian technology will come. If I select here Java, see in the default value the value is getting changed to 4, and here it is written Java. So how to come from this grid into this grid, how to get the data, actual data from this grid? In order to understand in a simpler way, what I have done here is, if you see, we will even see the interface, how to build this interface. First of all, you need to create a reference record where you will store all this data, because in the drop down the data will come from the database. So we have created a database. In that database we have stored few names here, okay, of some country and some technology as well, and the value we are directly referencing in our drop down as well. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. Okay, so here we will try to create an, okay, let's open an unnamed interface, and here we can go with a form. Okay, fine, and here we can take a column. Okay, and to store the user data we have tried to use a record which has 3 important fields: name, country ID, and technology. Okay, fine. So here what we will do here is, for name part we can take a text field. Okay, and for the country we can take a drop down, and same for the technology as well. Okay, and in the rule input we can take, I have created a user record to store the data, to refer it. Okay, we can we can use a local variables as well. Okay, so let's make it a user record. Once we have created user, we have to give the type is user data. So this is the record in which we will refer our data. Okay, so let's change the text value from this to name. Okay, and in the value part we will write ri bank user record dot. If you will give, you will get the fields, and he will, there is a name field already present, so you can write name as well here, and then user record as well. Okay, and then name here as well. That's it. So if I try to write name here, then automatically in my user record name is getting entered. Till here I guess everything is clear, not an issue. Now the main thing is here, like when I enter the drop down, this one country, when I select a country, and when I select technology, okay, technology, then what to enter here? So in the choice labels, what we will do here is, as of now, in my reference table which I have already created, you can see in the database as well, I will, like, India is at ID 1, USA is at ID 2, Appian is at ID 3, Java is at 4. So if I select app in India in the drop down, then 1 should get saved. If I select USA, then 2 should get saved. If we select Appian, then 3. If Java, then 4 should get selected. So as of now, let's we will do here is we will hard code our value for now. Okay, we can also query the data, but fine, we will put it here. Fine. So now if India is getting selected, see here. Okay, we sorry, we haven't configured the value part for this. In user record, we have already made in the user record fields as country ID. So this is the user record. If you see the data structure, country ID we are storing not as the name of the country, but as the ID of the country. Okay, and then in the here as well, rule input user record fields, and then again country ID is there. Great. So this is done. Now it will get, this time it will get selected. If I select India, see here, country is 1. In the reference data as well, India was 1. If I select USA, then what will happen? Country ID will change to 2. That's it. Same thing we have to do for the technology as well. So 2 technology we have in our table. First is the Appian and second is the Java. And for Appian and Java, the values are 3 and 4. Okay, so now if you see here in the technology 3, so let's put the value and save into, let me just copy from here and put it here. In place of country ID, we will select technology ID, and here, okay, not here, here we will put a technology ID. Okay, fine. Value save into, let me just delete this save into, that's fine. So now let's select any technology from here. If I select Appian, then Appian ID is 3. If you see in the database as well, Appian ID 3 is getting saved. We are getting data. Why we are getting data from database? Suppose in future, like somebody said like, no, I want one more country here, then they will just add a country in the database. Automatically it will get reflected in the drop down. Okay, if we query the data, as of now we have hard coded, so it will not reflect, we have to manually add it. But fine, if I need to show the data in a read only grid, then what I can do for that purpose? Then I will here I will write it here, show data as a default. We won't do like any change here, we will just show the data as it is. Just copy a grid field from here, read only grid, and that's it. Now read only grid requires what? It requires like the source of your data. Where is your data present? Okay, so read only grid, this label we don't need now. My data is C. When I save the data, my data is where? My data is now in the rule inputs. So I can configure my grid as rule input. User record, all the data is present here. Now I need 3 columns. So first column will be grid column. Okay, and label is what? Label is name. Okay, and value will be what? In order to access the value of the grid, we have to use fvbang row. You see here all the data in the grid will get populated, and this is a kind of a record, so we can't like with dot we cannot do that. We have to refer the value with the help of square brackets, then write the user, okay, ys user data, then go to the name field and then refer it. Directly with this we can't write it, otherwise it will give error. See here, test I have written, it is getting. If I write test, like test, see the same value will get reflect here as well, because the data is here. Now the data is coming in grid field. First grid column is made. Okay, let's make the other 2 grid columns as well. This time it will be country and this will be technology. Okay, let's make it. Now country is in where? It is in country ID, because that is what getting there. Now it is where? Technology ID. Done. See here, if I select USA, then if I select India, I know that India is 1. If I select Java, then I know technology for Java is 4. So see, now 4 is getting reflected here. But in read only get we can't show numbers like 1, 4, nothing. If we want to show this grid the proper data what I have selected, okay, we can't do with this one. Okay, so what we will do here, let's duplicate it, and this time we will need show data. Okay, not default, we will write it something as values. So here we will try to refer the same thing, but we will try to refer with the value part. Okay, so here we will try to refer our data with the help of values. So this is the value section. Okay, now the question is like how I will know like country 1 is India or technology 4 is Java, how it is know. So for that purpose only there is a reference table already created for us. In this table it is defined that 1 IDPK is for India, 2 IDPK is for USA, 3 is for Appian, 4 is for Java. It is already everything is defined here. So it might question that what if I try to query the data, put all the data there, and then if ID is 1 is there then show India, if ID 4 is there then show this. If I query data, somehow I need to bring this data, because as of now 4 values are there, but in future it can be 40 values. I can't put manually conditions for each value, so it is better to create a query record for that. So what we will go there is we will go in the interface and we will try to query the data. Okay, so okay, so we will query reference, okay, reference data. We will try to query the reference data now. Once we have queried the data, we will show the data in the UI. So how to query the record? Simply query a record type, we can write it. Which record type we want to query? We want to query the reference record. So reference record, that's fine. Let's show the paging information. We want all the data, whatever data is there, we want all the data, but don't write it -1 here. -1 doesn't work. Let's say 10 or 50 data is the batch size. We will take like dot data as well. Let's see what it is displaying. All the data it is displaying, but we don't need all the data, we just need the name, because in my table rest all the things are kind of metadata that we don't require. So what we will do here is we only will query those fields which is important for us. For example, one field is what? Name, right? So let me just write, okay, not write name here. Okay, it is reference data. So reference data dot fields dot name. Let's try to query it. Now see here, IDPK1, for 1 it is India, for 2 USA, 3 Appian, 4 Java. That's it. Our query record is made. Let me just copy this data and put it in some local variable. So local variable, okay, and now local bang reference data we will put it here, and in rule bang we will call our rule as well. That's it. So now our reference data, you can see here, it is called and it is having all the data here. Okay, we can say click on all the data is coming here. Now the next question is that data is present, 1 is India, okay, 2, okay, one more query, sorry, one more thing we missed it, technology ID as well. Okay, in the name we need that. Okay, fine, okay, fine, we don't need it. Okay, now our next doubt is like how to convert this country 1 to this. So there is a function for that purpose, a very important function, and that function is nothing but called as display value. If you read the documentation of this function, you will see that display value does what? It tries, see here, it has 1 2 3 4 keyword are there in this display value. Value is there, that what is the value that you want to search. See, the value to search for in the array, what value I want to search. For example, I want to search my IDs, so this is what in array. Second keyword is the in array, the array to be searched, which array you want to search for your values. Okay, then third is that replacement, though what is the replacement of that ID. it found that one ID I need to search, and these are the different IDs which are available. Suppose I selected country ID 1 here. This is the one part. I search in this array. Here this 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the array in which I search my data. I found that 1 is present there. Now for 1, name is what? India. So India will come in the replacement value. Like I want to replace this 1 with India, so I will put in the replacement value this name part, and last parameter is default, and it doesn't accept like keyword, so I can't write it. That's why, see, if I write value, like value is not coming. This value is different. See, it is a function. Okay, here. So what I will try to do here is the value to search. So this is the value, not name I want to search. So values, a name name doesn't name is as it is only. Okay, fine, let's remove the name part. Okay, so we won't disturb the name is country. So in country we will use the display value. Okay, now in display value, what is the first keyword? The value to search. So this is the value. For first row it is like something, for second it will be different, like this it will be there. Fine. Now the value we want to search is, this is the value. Now the array in which this we want to search. So basically, first of all, our array is local bank reference data. Okay, now reference data is the array, but in that data do I need to search all? If I am searching ID, so make sure you refer the ID only here, don't refer all the array. This array is containing two things. It is containing the ID pk as well, and it is containing the name as well. Okay, so we have to specify that local bank reference data you are storing. So let's refer with record first. So array in which I need to search is IDPK only. Search in the IDPK only. Now the third parameter is the replacement. I want to replace with something. So what should I replace it with? Okay, let's put null here as well and null here as well. Okay, so to avoid the error. See here, as of now it is getting null. Now in the replacement, what we want to do here is, if I found the value, let me write test. See here what it will write. It will write test. Whatever the value, if it found the value, it will try to match the it will try to give the result. I don't want test here. Okay, I want that in the local bank reference data only the replacement value is done there. And what is the name of that replacement value? IDPK not, but name is there. So it should automatically come and replace with name. And see how it has successfully replaced the country of 1 with India. If I select India from USA, then what will happen? See here, the country ID will become 2, and it found in the array of 1, 2, 3, 4, where is USA? So it found 2. This 2 has come here, and in the replacement line number 3 we have written give me the name for 2. It returned the name for the USA and it came here. That's all it has done. And now the same thing we can do for the display value. The same thing we can use for this one as well. Okay, so local bank reference data, let's write it. Okay, and now reference data dot fields. In the field we will write IDPK, because we need to search the, if I am searching ID, then I need to create an array of ID. We can create a local as well for IDs. Okay, we will see that part. Let's see that once we will refer it here. Reference data dot fields dot name. And see here, if I select a okay, one more parameter I need to give, and that's it, done. Now see here, if I select Java, then Java will come. If I select Appian, then Appian will come. How it came? Initially the ID was 3, it got stored. Now it searched the 3 in this array, like where is 3? It is not 3, it is not 3, it is 3. Now it matched here. Now if it is 3, then get me that particular name only. It got the name of Appian here. If you want, like what we used to do, like sometime you can create a local for IDs as well. All the ID you got from here. So where is the data? Local bank reference data, and you want just the ID. So you query the reference data dot fields dot IDPK from here. Okay, and you will get all the IDs. see here, 1 2 3 4, all the IDs it has got. In order to check your IDs, you can do that as well. Okay, so we have directly tried to write it. No need to create any extra local variable for that. If I want the name, you can test with this field name as well, and all the name as well in the next local variable you will get it. Okay, let's click on test once. Okay, and see here, in the ID we have got the name. And now how it will work, if we will write some, okay, some name here, if we will select the country is India, see India, it found like 1 is there, for 1 is written. Okay, if we select the technology Appian, then Appian is at 3, here you can see it, and 3 got replaced with Appian. So this is a very important function when we are trying to store the data in a grid. Then it becomes very useful to use this function. Directly we can use it and refer data without creating any additional local variables as well, without using any other function as well. Just one function will give us the value. Okay, so that's all for now. Okay, so thank you.